Morning with Max. Hey folks, welcome to another Morning with Max. Good morning Devo Mabivo, Zarfe, Ladoween, Brando 2. Today is Eclipse Day, so there's a solar eclipse that's going to be hitting the continental US, and I plan on being outside for those 2.5 minutes or whatever in the afternoon. Oh, well, good afternoon to you then, the SDM. I don't have the glasses. Andrew has a pair. Maybe I'll rent them from him for 10 seconds or whatever. But I'm going to make a pinhole in 2 sheets of paper, and I'm not going to miss it. A wild hatless Max. Yeah, that is unusual, isn't it? There. It's a little warm in here. Hence the lack of hat for a moment. Good morning, good morning, good morning. What time is the maximum in Fairfax? Right around 2:40 this afternoon. It's gonna be like 80% or something. Now you recognize me. Okay, good, Brand. Oh, I didn't even realize I have gray hat, gray shirt. Matches today. So, let's see. Let's go over the streams we had over the past week. So if you hear me mention something that you want to go back and watch, that'll remind you. As always, going to link the schedule in the chat, as there's links to nearly all the videos. I haven't done the ones from Friday yet, but everything else is already linked in the schedule or can be found easily. So, back on Friday, we had Morning with Max in the morning. We had the end of week wrap up and Q&A with Mark in the afternoon. It was a good one. Back on Thursday, we had an office stream in the morning, and we had environment art with Dion in the afternoon. Oh no, it was Tyler. Environment art with Tyler Thursday afternoon. He was working on dirt and grass, I think, textures. Back on Wednesday, we had Painting All the Things with Michelle, working on Arrow Quivers, and Story Time with Max that evening, where I read, I finished up part 4 of the Silverhands Becoming story. Back on Tuesday, we had an office stream in the morning, and programming with Andrew in the afternoon, and Andrew was trying to get weapon trails to work, which I think he finished later at some point in the week. Back on Monday, we had, so a week ago today, we had Morning with Max in the morning, and just an office stream in the afternoon, which we may mirror today. I'll ask during stand-ups if there's any artists or programmers or anybody who wants to stream their work this afternoon. If nobody volunteers, I'll just turn on the cameras in the office, and you can hang out and chat with us as we work. Brando 2 at a 68-hour work week. So busy, much work. Ugh. I've done that. It's not fun. Yeah, I slept most of yesterday, I can imagine. I'll be 93 at the CU summer camp. Well, that sounds hot, Glackens. What are you folks drinking today? I am having lemon iced tea in a can. And of course, water in the Vader cup. Unfortunately, this water has been in the Vader cup all weekend, and it tastes like plastic. It's alright though. Coffee and iced coffee for Brand. Coffee for Narian. I already had some coffee. Gonna have to make more. Oh, Glackens is in the path of, or no, the CU summer camp will be in the path of a 93% eclipse. That's pretty cool. Halloween's only going to get 66%. Well, that's something. Paladin Brewer. Good morning, Max. Lead singer of Maximum Overdrive and other folks. Not the lead singer of anything. LOL 1 2 3 4 5 7 says, "Hey, I really need this game. But I hope it's the same as Deoc Vanilla. Please not change too much." Well, LOL. That is, I'm afraid, while this is somewhat of a spiritual successor, arguably, to Dark Age of Camelot, it is not going to be the same as DAOC Vanilla. It's not that. LOL 1 2 3 4 5 7. Let me give you some links. So if you are interested in Camelot Unchained, which is going to be a tri-realm experience, and certainly has some similarities to Dark Age of Camelot, it is not the same. And I hope it'll be even better. So there's some links. LOL. Lol. Brando 2 looks like I get about 50% eclipse in SoCal. Well, that's pretty cool. Cloudy, that's the worst, Brand. That's terrible luck. Yeah, there's that specific band that runs diagonally across the continental USA. It's getting the full eclipse. Lol says, "Have a good work. Thank you for making this game." You're welcome, Lol. We will continue working on it. Paladin Brewer. I did my first bot test this weekend. I saw the bots. Awesome. How's your performance? Super cool, right? That it runs at all.
Anytime there's a bug fix or anything like that, it runs the risk of it.
Besides Mark, he was idling.
And
no,
so
hiding.
Sort of in cases like this, I like to take a holistic picture.
Right. Because Mark is a bot. Mark with a C.
Full set of code that is.
Oh, hello, Karakin. Or Karakan.
We take all of hatchery.
Karakan.
Just move it to fledgling for now. Just as is right now, since it's
Paladin Brewer. Well, we have not yet completed our work on a VFX system. But that's one of the two big things that Mark keeps talking about. But I'm glad your FPS was fine. Karakan says, "I don't know myself." Nice, Paladin Brewer.
Hatchery can be completely disconnected from it, including format and asset changes. That's our alternative.
Yeah, there's just a whole bunch of stuff in terms of like multiple live channels running multiple build servers that we haven't really tested much. And
We're gonna need to solve that at some point.
Yeah, I'm not sure that this is that point. I mean, yeah. If you think that's
those are the two alternatives. Either we have hatchery on.
We're pretty excited about those big bot battles.
That is what we should do. That is what we should have done. But we are here now.
In case you're wondering, I was the one who came up with the title for this, for last week's news post on Friday. Bots roll out.
Is that there is the is
Or
that
bots
we
roll
don't
out.
have the infrastructure to make new data builds on anything but hatchery. And we don't have an editor that
It might have been off Paladin Brewer, I don't know.
edit anything but hatchery.
Did we used to have that? Or there
Was the game also projecting an
It was never
eclipse?
safe.
A lot of
Yeah,
weed.
never
safe.
Well, what we did is we took the unsafeness away, which meant the ability to do any of that away.
I see.
We made it safer by removing functionality.
So that's the answer.
They are Autobots, that is
that's
true.
The top level.
Exactly, Brand.
And what we really just need to do is start actually building editors for, have separate build servers set up for Wormling, Fledgling, all of these channels get their own build server, and that, because it's like someone changes the structure of the data, like it's the difference between,
You can probably
if all
hear
it is
Andrew
someone
talking about it right now.
changes the value of how hard a skill is going to hit. That's if I
Brando 2, any exciting
code
tabletop
where,
story over the
like,
weekend?
where and how you specify the amount of damage a skill is going to do within the XML.
Well, I played
like,
Ghost
under a bunch
Stories,
of
the board
tags
game,
that didn't even exist
which is
on
perhaps
another
my
channel.
favorite board game of all
Like, when you
time.
diverge like that, then it becomes easy to use the editor from one channel on.
Yeah.
I
That's
played
what
some,
back and forth.
3.5
Damage now is
D&D.
Damage amount and damage in the next branch.
My wife
is,
killed some
you know,
zombies
Damage amount
in a
plus
mine.
1. Then you'd be editing about, or you wouldn't be able to edit the
played
field
some
if you didn't
Exalted.
know about it. And that's what the old editor used to let you do.
The players
So,
prevented an unjust execution.
Being in a place where we can't do this better, so we don't have to lock down our development server. Like, basically,
Great to hear the devs talk. Well, that's why we're here, Glackens.
now for this next undefined amount of time, because that
I mean,
seems kind of bad.
yeah, and we're not telling anyone to stop doing work. We're telling people to do different work.
Lotwayne says, well, let's hope they don't transform into dragons post-launch.
Tim, you're the first person to
So
say
you
that,
have
well,
been
it doesn't
told
matter
no
what
one will be,
change you make,
just
it's
one will
gonna
be able to
cost
kill all the
something different.
players.
You were normally the first person to
Yeah.
say it, so.
And I haven't gone there yet.
Yes,
But
it was
that
very
is-
dramatic,
yes, and I
Brand.
did mention that that's part of the reason I sort of like the whole view on hatchery. So, Andrew, are you advocating this is a thing that we should do today?
I would say that I'm going to ask what your state is. Like, are there other things that you could be doing to facilitate this
A
task?
couple people were asking if I could
I am.
Or to facilitate
turn cameras on my home
don't have
games.
strong leads on
Maybe I
any
will.
of the major issues we have right now.
If I get
So,
permission
right
from
now
my
I'm sort of
players.
chasing turkeys. You know, we like the
Brando 2 did a
plot
Werewolf
stuff,
the
I can,
Forsaken
like,
game yesterday.
I
That
can
sounds fun.
test a bigger physics
Paladin
server,
Brewer,
see
the draw distance is
what
rather
we
far.
see.
Do we know if
You
the
know, I
distance
play
we
around
currently
the field,
see
what
see
we see. We're not
players'
actually
names
chasing
is a
anything
final
specific.
thing?
So in that way, I'm sort of flexible.
No, of course it's not final, Paladin Brewer. That is something that is toggleable and we can change.
I can get an editor building.
Yes, the draw distance is rather far.
probably an hour.
We're very proud of that.
I don't know shit about the build.
The distance for player names.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, right now it's just not at all how we plan for it to be at launch, Paladin Brewer.
Gabe may know
Because
how to set up a build.
it would be kind of pointless to, say, hide behind a bush or a tree if you're walking around and you just see the nameplate sticking out. But that's not we haven't built that tech yet to hide that. So it is in no way, shape, or form
I mean, I can go ahead and get another.
how we plan for nameplates to work at launch.
When is full
Just-
out till Thursday?
It's just,
You know, is it worth? Is it worth?
we
starting
have
this
other
process
tech we
at
need to
all?
focus on for beta.
Well, it is a
Dendavia, do you prefer to DM or be a player with your tabletop games? Well, I better prefer to DM because that's all I've been doing for the past years. That's not true. Once in a while I get the chance to be a player. but I generally prefer to DM.
I think George has been banging on that drum.
A lot of Wayne. Dendavia, it doesn't really matter which he prefers. His players prefer he DMs. Yeah.
The timeline is
I
all
guess
here
that's
about
true.
it. The problem that needs to be fixed.
Paladin Brewer says you can just say Brewer if you want, so you don't have to say my long name every time. Well, Brewer is harder for me to say than Paladin, so... Brando 2. For myself, I prefer to be a DM. I'll sometimes play with the group at the same time, but I recently decided it's too much to DM and play as a character. Yeah, absolutely. And besides, it just creates a conflict of interest. PB, suggests Glackens. Not PB, then the peanut butter jokes kick in.
I don't think this stuff's even checked in.
I believe so.
Well, all we have to do is find your J, Paladin Brewer. Find your J. Simbi. Hello. Denavia, ever thought about playing out a game of the CU tabletop game to write, create a lore
That's
story?
the asset change we were talking
Well, in a way, Dendavia, that's kind of what the Great Depths Raid is. So the Great Depths Raid is a 12-part epic tale of delving in the depths, and it is closely related to the board game that I've been working on for a while now.
Yeah, so Mike, you need to wait until he gets all his changes in, and then
But they
they'll
don't
tell
align.
you what to fuck with.
They don't align nicely. Blah, blah, blah.
Alternatives. There is no alternative to peanut butter, Lotaween,
Yes.
Yeah.
That is the asset change.
unless you're allergic to peanuts.
So what is the question?
I'm just clarifying the confusion.
Crossed off.
That it's not a...
Dendavia, sure, but that's not how it was written.
Yeah, just wait.
Yeah. I mean, there's some crossover, but I think it would be a little... It wouldn't really work for me to put on my writer hat at the same time as putting on the
The one with the physician...
board game designer hat.
Friday.
Just because
I've seen that
I want to
before, I just don't...
be able to change the board game.
I think on Friday. Put it in like Friday afternoon or something. So it's
And then, you know, if I were to really write a story that was like, oh, this is grows immediately out of a session of play of the board game, a play test of the board game, then it just wouldn't, like, it wouldn't really be, it wouldn't serve the story and it wouldn't serve the board game. You know what I mean? So I think it's better to write something that provides background, context, but is sort of its own thing, separate.
That includes all abilities. That's not what I said. Okay, well that's what I asked.
Then you are.
And that's what I
A
tried to
full
answer.
CU D20 or D10 system would be neat. Yes, it would, Brand. Maybe that'll happen. Maybe I'll make it happen. Oh, Darrow's just looking at for the schedule. Glacken's CU D20 when the server is down. Yeah, there you go.
Anything that's useful to me. Correctly, those tasks went through to Caleb. So once you're on, the thing is, you've got a shitload of weapon swings and stuff. If this works,
That's something that has been bandied about.
swing changes and stuff.
Jeffrey Holiday.
But yes, there is.
What is the biggest... Oh, this is on YouTube chat. What is the biggest thing being worked on currently in the MMO? I mean, sort of the biggest thing is working towards Beta 1. We're in the tail end of Alpha, working toward the first phase of Beta, which is called Beta 1. And there's just so many big things that need to come together for that. But as Mark has said before on stream, and as far as I understand it, the biggest things are the VFX, the new VFX system, and the reanimation system, animation system, or Andrewmation. Those need to be improved, fleshed out, finished. And those are the biggest things. So, there's your broader answer and your more specific answer to your question, Jeffrey. Halloween, besides you couldn't guarantee that the non-backer character was the one that becomes the monster at the end. Right. PB says, you don't have to talk to the YouTube people, Max. They're silly. Aww. No sillier than the Twitch folks. You're welcome, Jeffrey.
Oh, yeah, that's cool.
Not PB.
Wolves. Our night is full of wolves. Our night is dark and full of wolves. Hey, Tim, would you do your favorite? He's just at a low elevation.
What if I called you Holy Knight of the Tea?
And it's not all characters.
Grumman. Max, will the Eclipse Shadow pass over CSE office? Yes. We're going to get like 80% Eclipse coverage at 2:40 this afternoon. So I intend to be outside with my 2 pieces of paper and a pinhole in one of them. And maybe Andrew will let me borrow his glasses for a second.
Get like real low. Like there's not that many.
Brando 2, Max, in a typical D&D setting. Typical. What is your favorite archetype? Wizard. I feel like you can do anything. I mean, it's not like I exclusively play it, but it's definitely the default. It's kind of like, oh, hey, I got the chance to be a player. So am I not going to go wizard? That's the first question to ask myself. Least favorite archetype?
I mean, shadows and shading.
Probably for me, fighter. In a typical D&D setting, they're so flexible they almost seem flavorless.
Well, he's.
There, now are we happier?
He doesn't even have shadows on.
Yeah, well, it depends on your definition of typical, doesn't it, Brando, too? Oh, VG Gnome. Hey, I haven't been following development much. Looking forward to the release. How is the mood in the office right now? Is it getting tense from pressure, or is everyone just riding the hype?
Shadows on to see the dark side.
Neither. We're not tense from pressure. We're just.
Past shadows versus.
I mean, you know, we did been there, done that. We got tense from pressure when we were pushing ourselves into Beta 1 before, but then rehabilitation happened, and so now it's just like gotta keep the pace up. You know, it's a marathon, not a sprint, and just continue moving forward. Get to the first phase of beta, and we're not riding the hype because we don't do needless hype here.
It bounces straight toward your camera, so so it makes everything look like it's full frame.
We're just trying to be pragmatic.
Well, yeah, I mean it's low poly, but like look at the surface.
Stretching.
Jeffrey Holiday, Fighter 1, Wizard 5, Abjuration Champ. Here is my fave. Cool. That's a neat combo, Jeffrey.
Somebody waxed our tree.
If the material is not set to values that are good for PBR, weird things happen.
I create my own campaign worlds though, Brando too.
Ben also scaled this up far more than I, but it needs an extra poly.
That is a very large work.
Somebody waxed our tree.
It's the no hype pipe. I like that, Grumman.
Set up triangles.
Well, the triangles. I'm looking at the material.
We just prefer to build it in a steady, sensible fashion, I guess.
You threw it into a mod at one point. I was like, oh yeah, those birch trees. I forgot about those.
Is it real like a higher poly?
Denarian, I tell people all the time how much everyone is looking forward to this game, so no worries, the fans are handling the hype part. Thanks, Denarian, I guess. That's much appreciated.
A lot of those high poly trees because that's a small range.
No, you're.
Brando 2. So then, is your favorite archetype in CU the mage or spirit mage class?
So you're surrounded by a bunch of really high.
Didn't I answer this question for you last morning with Max? Brando 2?
You have to hold.
In CU, most of my... Oh, no, it was Abducted Gaming who was asking me, I think.
Yeah, this is in memory. Yeah, rendering.
My favorite things in online MMOs are generally either the mages or the fighters. I'm really interested in a couple of the shape-shifting classes. So, like... Enchanted Knight or
yeah, like I kind of wonder
Disciple of Loki.
Just the fidelity that people actually experience, because you're experiencing the things that are like within.
But then, like, the mages are really cool, and the scouts are really cool. So there you have it. Cough cool. What are you drinking? I am drinking well, I've got water in the Vader cup, but I've also got lemon iced tea.
At some point,
Nice and cool. The air conditioning's broken in my apartment.
get a chance to pull it together and be able to specify per model parameters.
Zarfe, it was me, I guess, who was asking for your favorite archetype. Ah, sorry, Zarfe. Yes, it was Zarfe who was asking me.
In one LOD using transparency.
And Bran remembers now.
Which one?
So I guess you can always call up those episodes to hold it against me if I play something totally different. In Camelot Unchained.
Well, we were talking about, like, if we made things that are very close to you, much higher detail.
Vicentix, Camelot Unchained at Gamescom?
Constantly swapping.
Not right now.
It just depends on how many more
I
polygons
gotta get into beta.
that makes the pop more obvious. There's minor things that you can do with just kind of smoothing out curves and stuff on geometry, but something that grossly changes is kind of what you want to try and avoid. It's like one of the Black Desert problems is that because they have such high detailed, high poly models everywhere, and they've got big scenes, you constantly...
You're welcome, Vicentix.
Granted,
Let me know if I can give you links or any other information.
just don't notice that for a while. But that is one of the obvious things with their stuff. They go from a very low to a very high with a big jump, and they just decided that's what we're going to do. Things like trees, like I would like...
Sprog22, how did the last test go? As far as I heard, very well.
So it's always just a dice.
I don't have all the details. I'm not a programmer, but from what the chatter I've been hearing, it went quite well. It was that big bot battles test that we've been really focusing on in terms of testing lately. And from what people are telling me in chat here, they had a pretty solid, almost as a rock experience. Grumman, everyone in the office today or some sick like me? Most people in the office. There's a couple of people on their summer vacation.
Got a minute before stand-up, so I don't know if he's headed in. He had a headache.
Cough cool. Will the moon play a part in the world? Life, lore, dynamic. Cough cool. You are in luck, sir. Or madam. Yes. Yes, indeed. Both in the lore and potentially in the game mechanics we shall see. But part of CU lore is another moon appeared and smashed into the world's moon. And so there's like two moons, one of them broken, or both somewhat broken, I don't know. Well, I do know, but... and then sometimes there's another mysterious moon that appears. So, yes. A lot going on with the moons in terms of lore. And possibly with mechanics, we'll Cough Cool, if you want to check that out. Here's some links in the Twitch chat. Click on that lore link there and go read the Fearbog story. It talks about the moons. And the Emissaries story talks about underworld lore. Fearbog under TDD lore.
Somebody needs some parameters to try for that or something whenever we get around to trying to make.
You're welcome, Cough Cool.
Can you effectively make a particle tree if you wanted to?
Moon. Oh, it's 11:01. All right, so it's time for me to wrap up this morning with Max. Thank you all for joining me. It was another lively and fun one, which is always awesome. Let's see. This afternoon, we're going to have a stream. I don't know whether I'll get anyone to volunteer, as we're about to head over to the screen for the stand-ups meeting. To where it says CC West, so they're going to join us as well for a Monday morning. Everybody stands up and coordinate. There's the call, so I got to get going. But I'll announce it on the Discord if I get any volunteers. Otherwise, I'll just turn on the office cameras and you can hang out with us as we work. All right. Bye-bye. See you later, and thanks again for joining me. Morning with Max.